Welcome back. You're watching RT. Iran is coming under fire in the U.S. after charges that factions of the Iranian government plotted to assassinate the Saudi Arabian ambassador to the U.S. right here in Washington, D.C. Obama's top national security aides now say that the administration will lobby for new international sanctions against the country. But what is really behind the alleged terror plot? Joining me now is Pepe Escobar, correspondent for the Asia Times. Hi, Pepe. Thanks for joining us. Who stands to benefit from these alleged attacks?
Well, first of all, the House of Saud, because they are being painted as the victim. The Israeli lobby, of course, because now they can come back, roll over once again the strategy that Iran is our existential threat and something has to be done. The industrial military complex, they're rooting for a war. Neocons, Republican candidates, everybody in the U.S. that their number one preoccupation in terms of foreign policy is Iran bashing because it's another convenient bogeyman. The problem is this fast and furious plot unraveled by Eric Holder doesn't make sense. And that's the most important point. The American government wants the whole unsuspecting world to believe that the general of the IRGC, which is a very complex and very sophisticated operation in Tehran, which is more important than their armed forces. They have intelligence operators all over the world. They are going to subcontract a hit mafia-style killing to a failed Corpus Christi, Texas salesman with a record of bad checks, and he's going to contact somebody posing as a member of the Zetas Mexican drug cartel and boast that, I can give you $1.5 million, you're going to hit the ambassador at his favorite restaurant in Washington. I can provide you with tons of opium if you want to do business with my contacts in Tehran as well. So, this in a script conference in Hollywood, this thing will go to the garbage immediately. The problem is being peddled by the Attorney General of the United States.
Right, and this fast and furious plot that you just described, it seems like a really bold plot for it to happen right here in Washington, D.C. Doesn't seem like a wise choice to plot an attack. And I mean, do you think that it would be in Iran's best interest to embark on this kind of plot? And is this the kind of thing that the Iranian government would do?
Of course, exactly. That's a very good question, because if they wanted, if you target an ambassador, he's going to be replaced by another ambassador. The foreign policy of the country you're targeting is not going to change because if you kill 10 ambassadors in a row. And for Iran, if they wanted to kill a Saudi ambassador, they could do it in the Middle East. It's very easy. They have Iranian agents all over the Middle East. It could be the Saudi ambassador in Iraq or in Lebanon. It would be very easy for them to do. Why would they bother to mount such a sophisticated operation on American soil, knowing that everything in the U.S. is intercepted by American intelligence, phone calls, emails? This guy had a record of bad checks on top of it. He went to Iran and came back when everybody does that, even if he has double nationality, which is his case, Ababsiar. You're going to be questioned over and over again. So, it doesn't make sense at all. It's possible, and of course we still don't have enough elements for it, is that this guy is a patsy. He was used by DEA, FBI agents. They built the story after that, and now they're incriminated a patsy. And there's also the possibility that this is a black ops operation. Of course, we still don't have enough elements to judge it. But the problem is, follow the money and follow the interests. Who profits? Coming back to your first question. Saudi Arabia, the House of Saud, so they can divert attention from the fact that they are the Mecca of the counter-revolution in the Arab Spring. They smashed the Arab Spring in the Persian Gulf. They're going to get billions of dollars, 120 billions of dollars in the long run of arms supplied by the U.S. They are creating the impression that everything that happens in terms of the Arab Spring in the Persian Gulf is an Iranian plot. So these are and of course, coming back, the Israeli lobby, because they need to go back to Iran is an existential threat and need to do something before the next elections. Otherwise, the next Republican president will do.
Now, Pepe, the U.S. has been careful in saying that this was an attack supported by factions of the Iranian government. Is it possible to know how high up this alleged plot may go?
No, because they don't know. And according to the documents that were leaked, the official FBI documents, if you read the documents, there is no evidence whatsoever that this plan was approved or condoned by any level of the Iranian government. We're not even talking about the presidency or Ayatollah Said Khamenei. There's no evidence at all. But at the same time, Holder is saying that we're going to hold Iran responsible. How come, if they cannot prove where this comes from, who organized this plot, what kind of real relation this guy, this Iranian American has with his so-called relative in Iran? How high up is this so-called general of the IRGC and the Quds Force? And if this could be maybe a rogue faction of the Quds Force, of the IRGC, who's trying to do some, let's say, drug business on the side, dealing with the Mexican cartels. Nobody knows about this because there's no evidence.
Now, the response that the U.S. is taking to this is they're asking for nations around the world to crack down on Iran. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton is calling for, quote, a chorus of international condemnation of Iran. Are these justified steps to be taken in response to this alleged terror plot?
Look, when they say international community, it's the same usual suspect. NATO countries, Russia and China obviously are not going to do anything about it. The South Americans won't. Venezuela, which have very close relationship with Iran, won't. Most countries in Southeast Asia and in East Asia as well, because there's nothing proving, and there's deep suspicion even around the Arab street. This could be another U.S. concocted plot to discredit Iran, especially now that in terms of realpolitik, there was a rapprochement after the liberation of the two American hikers. And for the hardcore lobby, the industrial military, the hardcore Republican, and Israeli lobby in the U.S., this is very bad news.
Pepe, thank you so much for your thoughts on this. That was Asia Times correspondent Pepe Escobar.